Behind the blood-stained curtain of the Iraq and Afghan wars, there is a grim reality of American war veterans. In an investigative study conducted by CBS, Iraq veterans were more likely to commit suicide at twice the rate of the general population. In 2005 alone, 6,256 veterans took their lives. That's a rate of 120 suicides per week. The neglected veteran epidemic is sowing its roots deeper into American society than just suicides. Murder rates and homicide cases among veterans shot up by 20% in 2006. 25% of the homeless population are veterans, and over 6 million military families in America are without health care.
I recently just came out of a mental institution, and a lot of the patients there were actually part of, just came back from Iraq in the military, and they were just telling me a lot of things. A lot of them were suicidal. They told me things that, just things that they couldn't share, things that they had seen, things that they couldn't deal with, nightmares over and over again.
I would love to know to what extent maybe the government is being unresponsive to the needs of veterans, and maybe the alternative sort of hypothesis could be that society in itself is not very receptive to returning veterans.
I got a 26-year-old aunt who got hit by RPG in Iraq, and she's got a steel rod in her leg, and she's retired from the military, but she's not living. They ain't paying nothing. She's got to go back to work. She's got a steel rod, so I think it's sad what they're doing to all the vets that are coming back over.
So what is the U.S. government doing to help their wounded war soldiers? The Senate upped funding for the VA by $6 billion, the largest increase in funding in its 77-year history. The Joshua Umveg Veteran Suicide Prevention Act and Wounded Warrior Act were both passed into legislation, and minor adjustments were made to the GI Bill.
If we send soldiers to these theaters with weaker skills to cope with that additional stress and those additional intellectual and moral and ethical problems, all that means is that we will fail even more catastrophically in understanding the Iraqi and Afghani societies we are operating in.
We're not waiting for elections to end the war, and we're not waiting for the VA to take care of soldiers. We'll do it ourselves. And we're going to further look after soldiers. We're going to further look after veterans. We're not going to wait on the VA to do it, because if we do, more soldiers are going to kill themselves, more veterans are going to kill themselves, more veterans are going to live homeless. We're going to take care of them. We're going to start to do the work that the Veterans Administration refuses to do.
Nonprofits and volunteer groups who address the issues 2 years before the scandals broke in the media are doing grassroots organizing. One of the most progressive organizations in the country is the IVAW, or Iraq Veterans Against the War, who have taken the government's work into their own hands. The government's efforts to seal the Band-Aid on the veteran situation has proven to be ineffective. With 2,100 suicide attempts in 2007, the suicide attempt rate is up by 20%. If the problem remains to decline, it would mean the war in Iraq is on its way home in form of the same soldiers who fought and returned only to be neglected by the U.S. government. Jihan Hafiz, Press TV, Washington.